We are contemplating now and meditating upon Ganesh, Ganapati, who will remove the obstacles, crisis, and confusion. Ganesh or Ganapati or Vinayak is the Adi Devata, the first Ganapati, first Devata. As there are 33 million Gana, Devata, and Ganapati is the master of Gana, Devatas, deities, gods. So he presides over 33 million gods. That is why he is called Ganapati. How the interesting manifestation of Ganesh. In the beginning, when Parvati is the Himalayan manifestation of Himalayan entity who represents Himalayan like strength, energy. Parvati comes from Parvat, and Parvat is Himalaya. Himalaya is the symbol of strength and everything what is stable and good and everlasting. So Himalayan form of, she is also called daughter of Himalaya, Parvati, which later on became known to be manifested or created Ganesh to protect Parvati. And by protecting, there are so many different stories about Ganesh and manifestation of Ganesh. But the main point is here that Parvati has created the Ganesh to protect the entire universe and all against darkness and evil, all against created to protect and preserve and give prosperity. So she created the Ganesh, manifestation of Ganesh, which is Ganpati. Of course, that is the symbolizing the female empowerment, that how the first empowerment, that she was capable of creating such a force, such energy, that later on, that no worship or no puja or no festival or no invocation is complete without Ganesh, invocation of Ganesh. So it is believed that always Ganesha has to be activated, his energy has to be called upon to empower any other puja or festivals or ceremonies, anushthan, yagna can be done. As we know, as we have discussed many times, the symbol of Ganesh is the symbol of protection, removal of obstacles, provider of wisdom, and ultimately giver of the moksha, nirvana, the enlightenment, the freedom from cycle of birth and death. This Ganesh divine principle is very important to follow. Like Ganesh represent divine principle, and Ganesh is also symbolizing Riddhi and Siddhi. Riddhi and Siddhi, they are two powerful goddesses helping Ganesh, because the everyone needs support system, and Ganesh too needs support system, and that support system is Riddhi and Siddhi, two powerful goddesses beside him, helping him to achieve. Riddhi and Siddhi. Riddhi and Siddhi is very well-known concept in India. Those who achieve impossible things in life. Siddhi is accomplishment, accomplishing all what you aspire, aim for. And Riddhi, which you set your intention. So Riddhi and Siddhi this is another subject, Riddhi and Siddhi. What is Riddhi and Siddhi? So Riddhi and Siddhi, they are two powerful goddesses, support system of Ganesh, that Ganesh will command, and the Riddhi and Siddhi will help individual achieving things which is difficult otherwise. So that beside that is Parvati empowerment, which shows that how Parvati has created for whole creation. And creation is very sort of fascinating creation. In the beginning, when they created, Ganesh in turn created Riddhi and Siddhi. And Riddhi Siddhi are the female goddesses, of course. They helped by Riddhi Siddhi to implement the command of Ganesha. So this kind of interesting that banana leaves or banana tree is very dear to Ganesh. So whenever the Ganesh festivals and Ganesh puja is performed, banana tree is planted or banana leaves are used to give the devotee prasadam and initiate initiation. Any project starting, of course, any project starting, any work starting, any puja, any festival, any yagna, Ganesh is always there to invoke his energy. And without invoking his energy, Ganesh success cannot be achieved. So Ganesh is called complete God. Ganapati, Pati, the master, the Swami, the Lord of Gana. And Gana is Devata, deities, gods. 33 million, you can imagine 33 million presiding over 33 million gods. How powerful the Ganesh is. This, when Parvati created that concept and that power, empowerment, somehow Shiva was surprised. And when he came, it all happened under his, not his presence. And Shiva was, of course, proud, but also surprised. And of course, there are so many stories which I won't go in detail. So the Shiva could not reconcile that Shiva is somehow is done under the without the Shiva involvement. So it was decided that it was agreed that this he will be only the son. Ganesh will be son. Although Ganesh was not born as such a human being, and Ganesh was not manifested in like human being process. He was created and manifested, and they call Pragata. Yet the Ganesh decided or agreed that Shiva will be his father, and Shiva and Parvati will be his mother. So it's a lot of different stories. Of course, I won't go in detail of the stories, but the whole idea was that Shiva, father and mother Parvati, and in turn, Ganesh created Riddhi and Siddhi, two goddesses, to help him implement his wishes and his when he bless, someone has to enforce the blessing or wishes. So the idea was that then came the idea is that that he cannot be an ordinary human being looking being. So decided or agreed that Ganesh will have the elephant appearance. So the head, his head will be the elephant-like, where his body will be the human-like. So sometimes they also like to portray that Ganesh likes laddu, this sweet round, which is laddu is prepared in his favor, or because he was created by part of the turmeric, haldi. So haldi became the healing energy, which is still today the haldi is healing. So haldi was involved so in the creation of Ganesh, haldi, which is turmeric. And we can all understand the power of haldi, power of turmeric. And so that the devotee of Ganesh like to offer turmeric, haldi to Ganesh in order to please the Ganesh. So the normally the puja is done Tuesday. Tuesday is also Durga, Kali, Hanuman, and Ganesh. Tuesday is the day for the Ganesh and Hanuman and Ganesh. So Tuesday is supposed to be the meaning of which worship the Tuesday of combine. The Ganesh festival, of course, starts 11 days and Ganesh is performed. This Riddhi Siddhi is part of the festivals. So this month has been quite eventful. And Ganesh, the concept of the Krishna Janmashtami, Raksha Bandhan, and opening of the Ramraj, symbolic Ramraj, Janmashtami, of course. The idea is to 3, health, happiness, and peace. So health, happiness, and peace is very important for life. Without as we know, the health is very important, and the happiness is very important, and the peace. Without peace, one cannot enjoy the health and happiness. So the practicing that Ganesh festival or Ganesh Puja is important. That Ganesh, invoking the Ganesh energy into your life. This idea of festivals and that symbolism, symbolic meaning of how we forget time to time what we have to do. These festivals and these puja, anushthan, remind us to keep attuning. Like we eat quite often, we sleep quite often, we drink quite often. So similarly, the practice of a spiritual puja is important to repeatedly to do that. Because why should not be done puja? And in this question of puja, of course, the present crisis presents a lot of suffering and pain to a lot of people. The individual crisis and collective crisis. There are individual crises all over the world. Individually, people suffer and go through the pain. And collective crisis like now, what's going on collectively, that we also share. And we share the pain and suffering. And so especially this time, Ganesh Puja is very important. So Ganesh invocation, we have to do and ask the Ganesh to removal of obstacles which we have been presented, and how to remove obstacles. This is when you are in the middle of the crisis, and you are caught into crisis, then you really think that this crisis, when it is going to end. You wait day in, day out, crisis to be finished. And sometimes it looks like crisis is not going away. But everything has a cycle. We are in the cycle of Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Satoguna. Like Rajoguna, Tamoguna is rotating in 24 hours. Rajoguna, Satoguna, Tamoguna also rotating in a year. This process of Saturn, which we have talked about, should be going now, or effect of Saturn should be highly reduced now. So things should, Saturn, after such a devastating effect of Saturn should be more mild and more merciful to the humanity. This compassion of gods, the humanity needs, and the whole idea of creation, that three principles created: the human being and gods, divine gods, and the demonic forces. That's why when this churning took place, the three forces were involved, mainly two forces, the demonic forces and godly forces. to churning the ocean. This concept of that force, we go through that time to time, that is making you strong, and that you develop the energy to become much more strong, like Himalaya worshipping Shiva and Shakti gives you the strength of Himalayan strength, that Himalaya is exposed to all the element, and yet Himalaya stands still, giving the message of stability and strength. So when you worship selected gods like Shiva and Parvati and Ganesh, Ganesh is another. Of course, there's another one is Kartike. The Ganesh, when you have Shiva family, the Shiva, Parvati, Ganesh, and Kartike, they are portrayed. This idea of elephant head, the elephant, the huge, the symbolic of the animal elephant, which symbolizes the great power, a strength. And in the forest, the elephant commands the power in the forest and jungle. So the forest, this idea of human being and combination of elephant creates the great energy. And then the story of mouse, that mouse comes to Ganesh and asks the Ganesh that where is my place? Everybody has a place. Lion has place, lion, Durga rides on lion. And they all have their place in the creation. But rat and mouse, they felt left out. So they pleaded Ganesh that that rat and the mouse should be given the due place in creation. So Ganesh, being very compassionate, he said, "Oh, you will be my vehicle. That I will ride on you. That you will be the symbol. You will be with me." So he has, out of compassion, he allowed rat and mice to be around Ganesh. So it is many times in the Ganesha temple, a lot of rats and mice are attracted, and leftover prasad they are eaten. That is quite a sight sometime. So all the rats and mice are attracted to Ganesha temple to eat prasad, leftover prasad, which is called laddu. This is interesting creation that we are talking of the Ganesh today, and Ganesh has many facets of many aspects of Ganesh. So that's why we have selected Ganesh and Hanuman. The Hanuman and Ganesh puja is done on Tuesday normally. Of course, puja can be done anytime, any day. But Tuesday, Hanuman and Ganesh puja is done beside Durga and Kali. So this concept of Ganesh, which being the central Ganapati, the presiding over all the gods, and so Ganesh has never any problem with any demons. So this, although there been no, the demon try to fight Ganesh. So even demonic forces, they submit to Ganesh's power, and they challenge each other. The demonic forces challenge other gods, but somehow Ganesh is Adi Devata, beginning deities, and the Ganesh manifestation is called Anadi Kal, Akal. Of course, the Ganesh has been portrayed in Buddhism and many different countries in different form and ways. So this we are celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi, and we like to offer our great Shraddha, offering of love and devotion, dedication to Ganesh, to make our life more purposeful, meaningful, happy, and prosperous. Ganesh is it is believed that when this great creation story had to be written, and they had to find someone who writes such a story of creation, and they couldn't find anyone who could sit down and write. So then Ganesh agreed that he will write the great epic. So Vyas, who was compiling all the knowledge and wisdom of creation, including Vedas and Puranas and many other knowledge treatises, it was Ganesh who offered, and Saraswati offered to dictate. Vyas offered to compile, of course. So it was teamwork. It's a teamwork of Saraswati, Vyas, and Ganesh. With their teamwork, they had completed the writing of all these treatises, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, and all other Vedic stanza, Vedic treatises. So this teamwork of three. Saraswati is goddess of learning, as you know. Vyas, who is a great guru, compiler, Sadguru, Acharya, who compiled the Vedas and Vedic treatises. So in this Vedic philosophy, there is philosophy of creation. The philosophy of creation is very interesting. The creation has a many different meaning and purpose. This creation will continue because the idea is there is no beginning, there is no end. So when there is no beginning and when there is no end, that's the idea is symbolizing the wheel of life, chakra. That's why we call it chakra. First chakra, second chakra, third chakra, fourth chakra, fifth chakra, sixth chakra, seventh chakra. So Mooladhara chakra to Brahma chakra at the end. Now, this is a very mystical experience of chakra, which people don't understand, and then they distort it and they corrupt and then get confused. First chakra represents the creation, creative principle. But then last chakra, the Brahma chakra, is the ultimate, final. So the whole idea is to understand the different chakra. Navel chakra, for instance, is the holder of life, like when Vishnu lounging, some people like to call it Vishnu lounging on the ground, a snake, Sesnag, who is completely symbolizing the whole universe. The serpent, the great serpent, the first serpent, the grand serpent power. Sesnag is coiled, Sesnag coiled, and Vishnu relaxing, and Lakshmi sitting beside. And the whole concept that there is a, from his navel chakra, there is a lotus root. The lotus started, and they on top of the lotus sitting the Brahma, creator who creates that. And the Brahma who got confused, he didn't know where he comes from, so he tried to go down and find out all about his origin. He couldn't find out, and he couldn't. So he went back and went into meditation. And then meditation, he heard the word, and that was Shruti, heard. He heard the knowledge called Shruti. Shruti is heard, hearing. Then he remembered the knowledge called Smriti. Then he brought to the knowledge to his sons, Sanak Sanandan, Sanat Kumar. It became Vedas, and so on, expanded the knowledge. So the navel chakra is very important chakra. People don't understand. And each chakra represents the cosmic principle. In the cosmic principle, as it is said in treaties, Vedic treaties, that your body symbolizing the entire universe. So your body is the embodiment of universe. So that's why Swami Ram Tirth, one of the great mystics, he says that when I walk, the whole universe walks with me. The idea is Vedantin, the Brahmabadin, one who is in Brahmanist, one who is in Brahma, knows the creation, knows the principle of creation. The vast majority of people are ignorant. Those who find that knowledge, they will find the knowledge, and the knowledge will bring the liberation to their cycle of birth and death. From that, they will be free from cycle and birth and death. Where that normal, ignorant people get caught into the ignorance of abyss of ignorance, darkness, and then the eternal darkness prevails in their mind, and they are caught into the darkness. So this Ganesh, when we talk of Ganesh, it is not simply the deity or God, one of the God. And it is not simply a concept, but the great mystical creative principle Ganesh represent. The mystical representative of cosmic creation, representing Ganesh, because the Ganesh not born normally, normal process, because there are two processes, creation, biological process, which created the creation, biological process, which is more or less every creature is biologically created, whether you are a human being or you are animals or plant. It's a biological creation. In the universe, you can see that all the animals, if you see, and plants, you see, it's a biological. But then metaphysical creation is different. Metaphysical creation is not biological creation. So one aspect of metaphysical creation, sometimes I make a humor out of that the idea of creation, that Brahma created metaphysical form, or he created four sons and Narad and many other sages. And then he decided to create a system where he doesn't get involved. Then he created Manu and Satrupa, first man, and Satrupa, first female. And they started the creation. And it was biological creation where he was not involved in that. And then the whole idea of creating biologically. So the whole principle of male-female idea developed. Now the idea is that just not creating male and female, but also how male and female would be attracted to each other. Because just merely creating male and female being is not enough. If they don't look at each other, though they hate each other, they feel like enemies. So how it will sustain the creation? So then they created Kam, the Kam Devata, the god of love. And then created the Kam needed his own wife called Rati, Kam and Rati. So Rati principle and Kam principle. So the Kam, the god of love, you can call it, god of procreative love. So he had to motivate. He had to put the energy. So they are female and male, they are attracted to each other. So the complex situation is that, okay, Brahma created male and female to have biological creation. But what if they don't like each other? The creation will never. So this question of attraction also had to put into this system. So the Kam was created, that his job was to create attraction to each other. So it's very interesting that not only the attraction between the human being to human opposite sex, but attraction among the animals. So that's another work was that. So the Kam, the god of love, or goddess of love, Rati, his wife Rati, and Kam, since they always need a teamwork. So Rati, his other half, and Kam, the god of love. Both of them, they had to create the sort of chemical in all the creature, including plant, to create life, continue the creation. Now it's very interesting that every spring, month of April, May, June, we have hay fever, allergy. And that is very interesting, this allergy season is that. Because so much pollen is created, and this pollen is the life force, life energy. And they are, through the help of the wind, they are flown to far and wide to impregnate the other plant. And that's another interesting, that how the wind helps to pollen to travel and spread. And then that plant is ready for receiving pollen. And so they are attracted to each other, and then they welcome the pollen. In German, they call Pollenflug. So that is very interesting. It's not a very simple, it's very fascinating, a story of creation. So Kam had a lot of job to do, and not only among the human being, but Kam also had to do Rati, Kam and Rati, they had to do a lot of job among the other species, like plants and trees and other small and big creatures, all the creature in the world. So it is a huge task, huge work of Kam. And of course, the idea was that Kam became very powerful, and Kam became so powerful that they thought that can dominate the world creation. So he became very arrogant, calm, the God of love. So he spoke with Narad that he is in charge of creation, because without him nothing will work, because he makes the world go round. Rather, without him creation would not continue. And nobody is above him. He can affect and influence everyone in the whole world. Nobody can be compared with him. Narad heard his story, and Narad, of course, Narad's job is also to bring the humility in the God and human being when they feel that they are powerful. So Narad says that, you claim that, but do you know really that some human being, some being may not be subject to you? And Kam said, no human being, no human being, no being at all, and no creature in the entire universe is not under my influence, effect. I can bring that motivation, energy in everyone, and no one can resist that motivation, energy. That is the attracting each other in that procreative, in a brute, in the gross word you can say sexual energy. But it is a procreative energy which is sprinkled in that, which whole creation is attracted to. So he thought, maybe you are mistaken. There are some who are above you. And so the Kam said, who is that? And Narad said, perhaps Shiva. Shiva is above you. He is not subject. So Kam thought, let's try on Shiva. So then he was the Kam, the God of love. He goes to Shiva, Kailas. Now Kailas is a concept of Loka. So there is one Kailas in the Himalayan mountain. But it is believed that that is a one Kailas. But other Kailas is a Loka itself. Loka can be called planetary. Loka can be called its own world. It can be called the whole Earth-like planet, or anywhere in the cosmos. Anywhere it can be. So Kailas is supposed to be divinely planet, the abode of Lord Shiva. But Kailas is also located in Himalayan region. So where Shiva lives in Kailas with Parvati, and Ganesha lived there in the beginning, of course. So this idea of Kailas itself is very fascinating. We will speak about Kailas because that is the kingdom of Kailas. Like Krishna had a kingdom of Dwarika, Ram had kingdom of Ayodhya, and the Shiva has a kingdom of Kailasa. So, kingdom of Kailas is different. So Kailas may be on earth in Himalayan region, but Kailas may be also somewhere else. So the calm, he has idea to effect the Shiva. So he goes to Shiva. Shiva was in meditative deep samadhi, and he tries his power to use on Shiva. And then he sends all this energy, which is to make him, disturb him, this energy, and which is called basically calm energy, that powerful energy which every human being is motivated. So although Shiva was in samadhi, but somehow Shiva realized that some outer forces is disturbing him. And in irritation, he opened his third eye. And from third eye, because it was irritated third eye, so this light came from his third eye, and calm was there in front of him, trying to instigate him, trying to excite him, incite him, trying to affect him. And then that light, or that beam, laser beam, touched the calm, and calm turned into ashes. So when the calm turned into ashes, that trick didn't work on Shiva, because Shiva was not his subject, and he tried to go out of jurisdiction. And so Rati, his wife, pleaded with Shiva that now you have destroyed my husband, the calm, God calm. Now how creation will continue? So if he does not work, the creation will stop working, will be finished, closed. So you have not only destroyed the calm, but you have destroyed the whole creation. So Shiva thought about that, and he thought that's true. What he has destroyed, not only God calm, but he has destroyed entire creative principle. So then Shiva decided to give the boon that henceforth calm will be in everywhere, invisible force. He doesn't have to have form. He doesn't need to be in form, and doesn't need to have physical energy or physical. It will be individual force in every creation, every creature and everywhere. So since then, the Rati saved calm, but he became very invisible. Now all those mystical explanation of creation is very interesting. If you look at if you look at the creative principle, that someone needed to protect the world, and protect the creation. And who was that? Ganesh. Ganesh was created to protect the world in the beginning. And so before any gods were in power, any god came in existence, then so before anything happened, the Parvati decided to create Ganesh. Now it is not an ordinary story. It looks very ordinary a story. Sometimes it looks humorous, and sometimes it looks out of proportion. The idea of Ganesh, that some people have all distorted idea, and some will question how come Ganesh has a elephant head. How human being can elephant head? But this when you think of human point of view, there's a lot of confusion. But when you go beyond human being, human point, then it is understandable why it is like that. And the unity of man between the animal and the elephant represents the highest form of knowledge. Elephant remembers everything. Elephant lives longer. Although the lion is called king of jungle, but elephant is equally not less than lion, even more than lion. So the elephant was selected. Elephant was selected to represent with the human being. And very interesting, the human being, an elephant, from animal elephant, and human being, human body, and then combination of the mouse is very fascinating theory and principle. The three combination of three principle combined in one, who is the God of protecting the universe, protecting the creation. So why we worship Ganesh? Why him, not anybody else? But you can understand that protecting the universe and protecting the creation, as well as protecting individual, is the concept of creation and concept of ongoing creativity. Although Shiva, a story we have heard that Shiva has his own glory and manifestation. And Shiva principle we have talked about so many times. But these are, some people ask about why so many gods? Gods, manifestation of gods. So why so many? And there should not be any misunderstanding about that, and there shouldn't be confusion. The idea is not that one God sits up somewhere in heaven with a stick and he gives the judgment and ordinance, he passes the ordinance for human being. Is not the idea. Idea is that it's a, if you can call empowerment, delegating the jobs of creation. It's a very perfect way of democracy, that everybody has a role to play in the creation. So the idea is not that one God sitting with a danda or a stick in some heavenly abode, and he tells what to do and what not to do. The idea is to functioning of creation properly. So the Ganesh was created first deity, first God, and first Gana, and that's why he is Ganapati, the Lord and Master and President of all gods. So he is worshipped. Without his invocation, no worship, no festival, no good work can bring fruit. So that is very fascinating concept. All other stories are very nice stories, and I would not go in detail. But the idea is that the elephant head, human body, is a perfect combination to represent the whole creation. And the wisdom, the knowledge, he is not only removing the obstacles from the individual and from the world, but also he is giving Sakti, knowledge, the wisdom. And he's also the writer, scriber. So he wrote entire episode of creation. So the Saraswati, Ganesh and Vyas, three They created the whole vast writing. And so this is very interesting to understand. Like we have environmental Panchamahabhut, we talked about the wind god, the water god, the sun god, the Agni god, Agni Devata, Vayu Devata, the Prithvi Devata, Prithvi god, goddess Prithvi, the Prithvi Devata. So all these Devata represents the Indra Devata, who is the chief of the council of these gods, elemental gods. So, so these all they have function. So why we do not understand? Because if you run the ministry, you create a lot of department. Even the country like America or India. By the way, India and America now align at the moment in the war, in the world crisis. And somehow energy today, politics is today shifting in the world. And although the world is in turmoil, and hopefully in this crisis, will emerge something beautiful. So country will create so many departments. If you have hospital, then hospital, research hospital will create so many departments. And so if you have university, there are so many faculties. So it is quite understandable why these gods are different, empowered for different purpose, to looking after creation. And this continuity of managing the universe, these gods are very important. Although you can't see them because you can see their manifestation, you can't see them as such. You can see the sun sign, but sun god in being you can't see. You can see the wind, you can feel the wind, but God wind you can't see. You can see the Agni, you can feel the Agni, light in form of light, and when you cook, then you fire. When you make fire, you fire. But you can't see the being actually. For that, you have to have a different methodology, a different method to adopt. So it sounds so simple, but it's not so simple. It's very complex. To understand the creation, what I'm saying to you, to understand the creation, you have to understand the Ganesh. Why Ganesh was created, and what is his function of Ganesh. So not Ganapati. That's why he's called Ganapati, because he is in charge of 33 million gods. It's a vast responsibility. Presiding over 33 millions of gods. Like we have 84 million poses and postures. So you can't possibly do the 84 million poses and postures. So you reduce to 84 poses and postures. Even 84 is too much. So you maybe 8, we try to condense into 8 postures. And similarly, mudras are millions of mudras. Pranayam is millions of pranayam. So this is a very mystical world, very mysterious, mystical world. So the human beings should not proclaim that they know everything, they know nothing. One little crisis came, now pandemic, and the whole humanity is lost. Scientists lost, doctor lost, corporate lost. They're all lost. They don't know what to do. So no human being should ever claim that they have answer. They have no answer. They are a tiny, pathetic little creature living how much they live. If you live 100 years, you are supposed to live 100 years. It has been commanded, at least you live 100 years. Nobody lives 100 years. If you live 100 years, probably you can't even speak. You can't see. After I've seen so many people deteriorating after 80. They may live at 94, 95, even 100, but their functioning of their faculties are gone. So if you are lucky, you can live up to 80 years. After that, very few people have faculties intact. Average age is, say, 60. So 60, after 60, 20 years is the maximum time you enjoy your life. Now in 20 years' time, what can you achieve? Yet your ego is so big, like millions of year old ego. Ego is amazing, that how the ego is, time span is so short. Yet the ego of human being is like a Himalayan mountain ego, which shocks me, surprises me. And it's very shocking, that ego of such a human being. So it's also mystical. I mean, we are talking of Ganesh today. Ganesh Chaturthi is not just talking of Ganesh Chaturthi. We are talking of entire creation, how. And I would like to, of course, give more detailed description of each of the god and goddesses, their function. But we are dealing with a mystical and mysterious world, where no one has any idea. It's like ocean. You can dive in the ocean. You can dive in the ocean and get nowhere. It's like a sky, blue sky. Sky, you can fly and you can go nowhere, return to earth. So you can dive in meditation and you get nowhere. There are so many mystical and fascinating aspects of our lives, and yet we do not understand, we do not comprehend. Our ego, the emotion and ego caught into such a, today I was talking about people have expectation. When people see me, they have expectation and emotion, both extreme emotion and highest expectation. But if that would be good if they would combine with the learning from my teaching. If they learn from my teaching and do seva, and as I say, seva learning process, learning and seva, they would be balanced. But because they have highest expectation, extreme emotion, then they get very perturbed, disturbed, confused, because they have one aspect combined, not all other aspect. So Ganesh ji, or Ganpati, or Vinayak, Vigneshwar, removal of all obstacles, are all his attributes are enormous, and you cannot describe his attributes. And it is not just a deity; it's a beginning of the creation principle, which so combination of so many aspects of in Ganesh. And that's why no wonder why without his invocation, without his puja or his prayer, nothing will be complete. And therefore the great message is that's why we selected two deities in our sanctuary of peace, proper ashram or land, Ganesh and Hanuman. Hanuman is a symbol of absolute love and devotion, dedication and seva. And Ganesh is a symbol of great obstacle, removing obstacles, not only your physical, but your all obstacles, and giving you the prosperity and happiness. So we will continue next session, and we will do some Ganesh mantra. Om Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Ganapate Namaha, Om Ganapate Namaha, Om Ganapate Namaha, Om Ganapate Namaha, Om Ganesaya Namaha, Om Ganapsaya Namaha, Om Ganapate Namaha, Om Gam Ganapate Namaha.
Om
Beside being Ganesh, Chaturthi Ganesh Anushthan, today is also the celebration of Rishi Panchami. Rishi Panchami is the occasion where the place called in India, Naimisharan, 88,000 Rishi, sages and seers and high beings, wise, they gather together to listen to the Mahabhagavatam. Mahabhagavatam, which gave the liberation to millions. So Mahabhagavatam is a great epic, treatise, knowledge book. So 88,000 rishis. So this is also called Rishi Panchami, celebration of knowledge, yagna, yag, jnana yagna, called celebration of knowledge. Jnana yagna is very important. Dhanam, which is what you give to others. The best dhanam is the knowledge. Guru prasannam moksha sadhanam. It says that when Sadguru is pleased with you, he will give you moksha through knowledge, through jnana. When the king is pleased with you, he will give you the power. When the rich man pleased with you, give you the wealth. But when Sadguru pleased with you, he will give you the moksha. So the moksha day, liberation day, true liberation day, soul liberation day, not physical liberation, but liberation of all kinds, physical, emotional, spiritual liberation, true liberation, true emancipation, true nirvana, true moksha. So the Rishi Panchami represents the knowledge. Through that, moksha was achieved. So Rishi Panchami is one of the celebration today as well, beside the Ganesh celebration. Sometimes the knowledge is easy, provided one is prepared. Someone very accomplished, corporate in charge of radio, famous radio in India, asked me that he doesn't understand Vedanta. So I said he doesn't understand because there is no Guru Kripa on him. He has not been graced to understand. See, when you go to university, you have to give entrance exam, whether you are qualified to come to university. Shraddha. If you have no Shraddha, no true devotion to learning, then you are disqualified. You can't take the book and read and expect to understand. Unless there is a Guru Kripa, grace of master, teacher, Sadguru, it is not easy to understand. Dispeller of darkness. dispelling the darkness. If you can't dispel yourself darkness, then you would be enlightened, everybody would be enlightened. But human beings create darkness among each other. Why you need a spiritual master teacher? Because you can't help yourself. And if you can help yourself, then you are enlightened. So for that you need Guru Kripa, grace of God and grace of Guru, spiritual Sadguru, true teacher. So that knowledge is made easy sometimes when there is a grace. Otherwise, knowledge can be difficult to comprehend. You can't understand Gita, you can't understand Mahabhagavatam, you can't understand Mahabharata, you can't understand Ramayana, Vedanta Upanishads, unless you are graced. So it's like a acquiring test, and you can only acquire test when test is given to you. If you have no acquired, then you cannot understand. Living in darkness, only one sees the darkness, not light. So when the light is there, one can see things in true light. One of the stanza and bhajan is very simplified, the knowledge. It says, घूंघट का पट खोल रहते तुहे पिया मिलेंगे. घूंघट का पट खोल रहे तुहे पिया मिलेंगे. घट घट व्यापी प्रभु तेरे, घूंघट का पट खोल रहे तेरे पिया मिलेंगे. Remove the veil, then you will have the darshan of beloved. Removing the veil is difficult because one has to know what veil is. What Swami Ram Tirth, one of the great philosophers, mystic, says, मैं ही पर्दा बना मुझे मालूम नहीं था. I was the veil, I didn't know that. So oneself is a darkness. One has to go to the light. When light is given, then darkness is removed. When oneself is dark, mind dark, soul dark, heart, how can you see the light? So this knowledge is given to those who have genuine search, genuine longing. And when you have genuine longing, then you are admitted in finest academy. Otherwise, you can keep trying, keep trying. So this is the festival of knowledge. And there is no greater gift than knowledge. There is no greater gift of love and joy, which divine love, divine knowledge, which brings true liberation to your mind and hearts. What we discussed today in form of Ganesh, the Ganesh is the symbol of prosperity. The present time crisis, the whole world is caught in crisis. And you cannot escape the crisis individually as well. So it's rightly requested from divine forces to remove the obstacles. And by removing the obstacle, then give the knowledge. First remove the obstacle and give the knowledge. So that's very important, removing the obstacle, because when your mind is an obstacle, how can you follow any path, pursue any path? There is a simple proverb in India, Bhooke bhajan na hoy gopala le lo apni kanthi mala. He's saying that I cannot meditate when I have nothing to eat. He asking God to provide me food first. Rightly so, because this body needs food. Food, when I say food, not just food, but prosperity. Enough, so you are not needy. You are not needy, and you are not in need. You are not in need, you are not needy, you are satisfied. So when you are satisfied, then you can follow the path easily. So what you are asking Ganesh to remove the obstacles, make your path smooth, give the prosperity. So you are not needy, you are not in need. So you can follow the path of knowledge, bhakti. So it's like a comprehensive request you are asking. Comprehensive sort of set of request, just not one-sided, and which is also highly symbolic, that let my body, mind, and heart be nourished and fulfilled. Body, as we know, first reality. In body, 10 senses, 5 gross and 5 sort of 10 senses are reality. The reality of body and the senses are there. The body and senses has to be in order. The next step is to open the heart and the mind, filled with the knowledge and wisdom and love. Love is the most easy path. Of course, those who are dry, they need to create first fertile land in their heart. But for those who are already have fertile land, they can develop the love. Narad followed although Narad is very great knowledge, Jnani, knowledge person, being. Hanuman is a great knowledge, learned knowledge being. But they all prefer the bhakti, divine love, because they knew that this is a multi-benefit tools. It's like a dry land, fertile land, but dry land. When water is poured, then there is just so much beautiful flowers and fruits growing. When you are ready, your heart, your mind, your soul, the love is given to you, you will flourish, you will blossom, you will grow, you will achieve that state of mind and consciousness. So this we are reminding again, the true knowledge, the true love, true bhakti, true seva, sincerity. And it is considered that heart should be like a pure water which you can see in the spring and in the running water, and every stone you can count. So clear and so pure water is. So is the heart, when so transparent and so pure. That heart has to be antakaran ki suddhi, cleaning your antakaran, cleaning the inner self. There is a cleaning, you clean your body with water, clean your mind with the good thoughts. How you clean your inner chamber? Only cleaning with the longing for love, divine love. The love which we normally is called is a deal. And many times, of course, people call it love, which is fair enough. One day, worldly love can lead to the divine love. So the deal we are making with each other all the time. Family member, all the time, they are making deals. Deals. Everybody is making deal with each other. They call love. But the concept of love is there. And that is very solid. That's something which you cannot feel, that does not mean does not exist. Simply that you have not experienced. Bliss which you have not experienced, that does not mean that does not exist. Love which you have not experienced does not mean that does not exist. It is not out of the reach, because that is the path, that is the it's fundamental right. Your right is to get there. And that right is guaranteed. But you have to make effort. You have to remind yourself. You have to strive. You have to move. You have to make every effort to go towards. That's why we select festivals. That's why we select all these special days in our lives to remind us, to talk about them, those who have gone on the path. What is the best path? The death, the spirit asks, what is the best path? The best path is, he replied, those who have gone on that right path is the best path. Those who are being the great men, evolved men or women, those who have followed path of truth, that is the best path to follow. Of course, we live in the time of confusion, conflict, pain, suffering, pandemic. But that is part of the whole cycle of creation. That is something which you cannot avoid. The question is how much endurance you have, how much discipline you have, how much understanding you have, how much capacity to handle and manage situation. That shows every crisis presents the ability to manage skillfully. People fail, leaders fail, country fail, organization fail, human being fail. That doesn't mean that they cannot strive. That doesn't mean they can't try. Learning from failure and mistakes is the process of learning. So this time is a big lesson for individual as well as community and collective humanity. Enough learning going on. How far we learn, how far we grow, how far we understand the mystery of the universe. This is the time to learn, to grow, understand. And these are the times which presented. If everything is fine, then everything is fine. Everything is not fine, how to make it fine? everything is not well, how to make it well, how to make it good, how to steer yourself to the clear. These are the lessons, these are the message on each occasion, whether we have festivals or otherwise, celebration of knowledge. We learn, we grow, we achieve, we understand our setback. But Atma is immortal. Atma is always there with you. Paramatma is always there with you. Yourself is Atma and Paramatma. You have forgotten. You have forgotten your own Sakti, your own power, your own capacity to evolve, to enjoy, to sustain. And this is the time to remind and restore. So before we go further, we would like to take some questions.
Thank you for that, Swamiji. So one question was in regards to creating Ramraj, or like the golden kingdom or the perfect time. How does one create Ramraj when surrounded by such tyranny in the world? And I guess another aspect of that question was, it feels so selfish to create one's own little Ramraj for ourselves when the world is in such trouble.
As time has been divided into 4 yugas, 4 ages, as we know, Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kaljug. This is the Kaljug time. And this is supposed to be the contradiction. One hand is supposed to be the easier, other hand supposed to be very difficult. In Kaljug, many manifestations can happen. Unbelievable things can happen, wrong or right, negative and positive. So Kali Yuga gives the challenge to us how to sustain Ramraj. Ramraj is a concept where nobody is unhappy, everybody is happy. That's Ramraj. Nobody is needy, nobody has disease. So overall, nobody dies before time. Nobody, that is Ramraj. That was the age of Satyuga, golden age. The Ramraj concept is, whole Ramayana has been described the concept of Ramraj. Of course, this 5th of August in India, Prime Minister himself laid the foundation of revival of Ramraj. That is something which I told you. 1528, the grand temple of Ram was destroyed by invaders. So now they have laid the foundation of temple as symbolic Ramraj. But at least Prime Minister of India is trying to revival of Ramraj. It's a good news because at least someone is trying, and head of nation is trying, which is a good news. not just an individual or a group, but the head of nation, Prime Minister of India, is taking initiative to revival of Ram Raj, which is a good news, it's a good intention. So this message, this is our model. How far we achieve that model is up to us. The sky is the limit. There is no restriction, any time, any age. To achieve the highest is open to all individuals and all the creature, including mosquito. Mosquito can become highest. So there is no restriction. You say, Masakahi Karai Viransi Prabhu, Ajahi Masakte Hi. That by grace, by the divine grace, the mosquito can become Brahma. And the same token, Brahma in this case is the most powerful. There is a Brahma and there is a Brahma. You must not confuse. Brahma with Brahma. Brahma the creator. Brahma the ultimate Paramatman, the ultimate God. So here we are talking of Brahma. Brahma is a symbolic in charge of the entire universe. So Masakahi Karengi Viranchi Prabhu, Ajahi Masakte Hi. Mosquito can become Brahma and Brahma can become mosquito. Such is your power. Such is your strength. So in this principle, everything is open, everything achievable. The question is that you want to create a Ramraj, others don't want. So what do? Do you stop because others don't want? No, you don't stop. Everyone has his or her own destiny. Everyone has his or her own karma. Everyone has his or her own path. So because others are not on your path, therefore you should not be on a path. That is not the reason for you to give up your effort of establishing Ramraj. Your karma is yours with you. Their karma is there. There is one example of Ravan Raj. Ravan Raj is opposite of Ram Raj. The Ravan was the opposite of Ram. Ram was the opposite of Ravan. Ram, who represented everything good, and Ravan everything negative, everything just horrible. Ravan represented darkness, total darkness. Ram represented true light, total light. So Ravan Raj, there was when Hanuman goes to Lanka, Sri Lanka, and in search of Sita. So by then Hanuman realized that he can be anything and do anything. Nothing is impossible. Until then he was cursed not to remember his power. Unless until reminded that he had once power, then all his power activated. That makes sense too. You see, when you are reminded what once you did, you become very excited. Your memory, you don't remember anything. Somebody gives you a clue. You remember. You find the solution. You can do it. Somebody tells you. You say, I can't do it. Somebody says, you can't do it. You have done it before. Reminds you have done it before. Oh yes, of course, I have done it. I can do it again. So Hanuman sat helpless other side of sword. Helpless, everybody was helpless, how to cross across the pond, how to go to Sri Lanka. The bear, Jambant, wise bear, reminded him, don't you remember when you were born, you just grabbed the sun? You just jumped in the sky and grabbed the sun. Don't you remember? Hanuman heard that sound. Bhay Parvatakar. He became like Himalaya, as tall as Himalaya, as strong as Himalaya. He remembered his power. He was cursed not to remember the power unless he is reminded. He is reminded by the wise bear. He remembers his power. So by now he can do anything, be anything. He can become mosquito, he can spy, he can become huge, small. Riddhi and Siddhi, that's what makes. When you have Riddhi and Siddhi, Ganesh has two companion goddess. I wouldn't call worldly relationship, but two companion, Riddhi and Siddhi, we talked about. Ganesh, two companion, Riddhi and Siddhi. Hanuman has Riddhi and Siddhi, grace of Riddhi and Siddhi. He can become huge, he can become small, he can become invisible, he can do what he likes. That is power of Riddhi and Siddhi. When you are graced by Riddhi and Siddhi, by the Ganesh blessing, then you have everything. So he was searching for Sita in such a town, how Sita can be found. So he's looking every house, everywhere. Then he came across one cottage. And in cottage, in front of the door, it was written Sri Ram. He was very surprised because all the area were like a drinking and dancing and all sorts of tamasic activities. I wouldn't name it. All the tamasic activities going on, nothing sattvic, nothing good, all tamasic. And here, one cottage, he saw the written name Ram, Sri Ram. And so, and there was a sound was coming out of this cottage. See, Kirtan of Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Kirtan or some whisper or sound was coming from that cottage. This Hanuman ji was very fascinated. He thought in tamasic land, dark land, perverse land, filthy land, negative land, although that land built by the gold and diamond, Golden Lanka is called, Golden Lanka, built by the gold and diamond and ruby, but still dark land. No matter how much wealth you have, but still you can be dark. Today I was talking to someone and I was saying, if wealth could help, then all the wealthy people in the world would live 100 years and healthy and happy. That is not so. If wealth could help, then all the wealthy people would be PhD in the world and with high IQ intellectual. That is not so. If wealth and power could help, all the powerful people could become very powerful more. But the wealth is not enough. Power is not enough. Wealth is not enough. And what is enough? People don't look towards. So Hanuman wondered, in such a land, this man, Sattvic man, repeating them, there is a sound of Ram coming. So he goes there and he knocks the door, knock, knock. And here the man comes and opens the door, and none else was but brother of Ravan called Bhibhishan. Bhibhishan was the only one in the whole kingdom who was a Ram devotee and a Ram Bhakta. And he was living in Ramraj in his cottage. And the whole kingdom was Ravan Raj. So Hanuman asked the question, how do you live in such a land where you are surrounded by the demons and all sorts of tamasic people? And he said, I live like a tongue living in the 32 teeth. Midst of 32 teeth, a tongue living. So I mind my own business. I have my own Ramraj, and I don't bother about them. And I create my own Ramraj and my own realm. The question is, of course, how to live in the adverse situation. It reminds me of India after 10th century. India was looted by invaders, by all these people. If you know the history, probably I don't need to spell it out. But all the invaders came to India. They targeted the temples because all the temples were rich. And not only rich, but the symbol of Ramraj and symbol of Dharma. So they opposed to the Dharma and Ramraj because they were infidel according to them. They looted, they plunged, they destroyed thousands and thousands and thousands of temples all over India. And that went on until 17th century. When the British arrived, they took over, then they kept a status quo. Nothing changed, but kept the status quo. The 700 years of loot, plunge, rape, pillage, and all the destruction took place. Amazingly, 700 years period, all the great saints incarnated, Tulsi Das, Kabir Das, Mirabai, Ram Das, Guru Nanak, and countless others. And they created Ramraj. One hand, it was going on this tyranny, going on this genocide and loot and murder and killing. Other side, these thousands of masters and teachers establishing Ramraj in their own way, their own realm. And there are many examples in the world, not only in India, but many parts of the world. So I don't want to sound too political because that is a Pandora box. But the question is, from a spiritual point of view, that is the endurance, your own conviction, your own, in spite of all the odds and all the obstacles, how far you are with your dharma. Dharma no gachati jiva eka. Dharma alone will go with you when you depart this world. Nothing will go with you. Dhanani bhumau. Your wealth will be in the bank. Pasvasa goste. Your cars will be in the garage. And plane will be in the airfield. Dhanani bhumau pasvasa. Dara grihadwari. All your relatives and dear one will grieve for a few days. Dara grihadwari. Janasmasane. Some people will go to your crematorium or your graveyard to tell how nice you were. And dharma, nobody will go with you except your own dharma. Dharma nugo gacchati jiva eka. Dharma alone will go with you wherever you are, you go. And therefore, dharma is your true friend. You must not abandon dharma. You must not leave dharma because dharma is your true friend. Dharma alone will go with you wherever you go. It's like a Chitragupta who sits and he records every creature, deed, all the deeds, bad deeds, good deeds. In his book, big book, he will write everything. And everything will be written according to his watching, all watching being, Chitragupta called, with big book. So you're all recorded. He's not a big brother, but a big Chitragupta God watching you. So Ram Raj is a concept of your individual dharma, like a dharma. Dharma is Ram Raj. You follow dharma, you bring Ram Raj your own way. So bringing Ram Raj to your life is not subject to land, society, community, culture, but subject to your own personal endeavor, personal striving. And therefore, you can follow Ram Raj in every situation. That's why month of August, I call you one of the very important month this year. On one hand, there's so many tragedy, so many people have died, so many people are infected, so many people have suffered, mainly because of mishandling of the government and the world. It could have been managed better, but that's another subject, another topic which we won't discuss today. But in spite of that, so many things also happening, good things happening, and such as concept of Ram Raj initiative taking in Ayodhya, in India. It's a brave thing to do. No Prime Minister of India has ever done it. This first time that openly he prostrated himself in front of the Ram deities, Ram Lala, baby Ram. So that is the temple of being built of baby Ram. He is called Ram Lala. He goes there, he prostrated, and he inaugurated the foundation stone laying to bring revival of Ram Raj. It is highly symbolic, starting in India, setting up the Vedic principle. India is not truly independent, as politically they may claim that they are independent. They are still enslaved by ignorance, by not knowing who they are, what they are. Greatest civilization on earth, most ancient civilization on earth, Sindhu civilization and Ganga civilization, where the Ganga gave so much. Sindhu River, now in Pakistan, Sindhu civilization, backbone of the humanity, most ancient civilization in the world, the most evolved civilization in the world, where they all inspired. The Judaism inspired, the Egyptians were inspired, Greek were inspired, or the mythology inspired by the Puranic stories. Romans were inspired. All these civilizations come much, 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 much later. The greatest civilization on earth, Gangetic, what they call Gangetic, which I call Ganga civilization and Sindhu civilization, existed thousands and thousands of years. Evolved state of mind. The great Rishi, sages, scholars, and great Pandit, learned man, they did tapasya, sadhana, meditation, and they presented to the humanity the most profound philosophy ever known by the human being. And such a civilization, concept of Ramraj, has to be restored and has to be revived. And that is the good thing this month has happened. Apart from other things. So Ramraj is a personal concept, although it can be collective, but it's a very personal concept. So when it's a model, it's ideal to follow. Every time you get lost, read Ramayana, read concept of Ramraj. Every time you lost, read Yog Vasist. Every time you lost, read Gita. You will be shown the way. That is not a dogma at all. Nothing to do with a dogma. It is to do with the human principle, human mind, human soul, human psychology, human environment. It's all to do with the order in the universe and the world. It's all to do with the divine order. And very practical, very real, very beautiful. One has to understand it's not a dogma, it is not a faith, it is not a religion. It is a philosophy, it is a way of life, it is the principle of life, it is a life living itself. And therefore, Ramraj is your personal realm. It can be collective, but personal realm, you can follow Ramraj wherever you are. I have followed Ramraj in Rishikesh. I have followed Ramraj in Germany. Now I'm following Ramraj in London. Ramraj is not subject to somebody else. Ramraj is with me. Wherever I go, Ramraj, I bring the Ramraj. Therefore, your personal treasure, personal asset, and you must understand like that.
Thank you, Swamiji. This is kind of an extension of that one, and I'm restating it, different parts of it. So this is in regards to the Ramraj. Is the focus to be more on meditating, studying higher wisdom to kind of create the personal Ramraj, or should it be more on helping the world create Ramraj, or is it like a 50-50 split? So in other words, is it more focus should be on ourselves, helping our own Ramraj development, or should it be on bringing, this concept in practice to the world? And then just for the last question that was at the end of it, it was, and this is being restated just so everyone can kind of understand, in this whole sense of it all, why doesn't God intervene to save everybody from the wrongdoings of the world or the anti-Ramraj aspects, golden civilization?
Well, the point is that doesn't mean that if you're in the individual pursuit Ramraj, that doesn't mean that it's not your collective dharma. That doesn't mean that. If that would be so, Hanumanji would have said to Ramji, forget Sita. Let's build a ashram and do some kirtan. So let's concentrate on our own pleasure and happiness. Hanumanji would have advised Ram to forget Sita. But no, Hanumanji decided to take the task and go to Lanka and destroy the Sri Lanka and demons. So that is very clear, which I'm not saying that you should go and destroy the world. What I'm saying that, of course, you do everything possible within your power, within the system. I mean, don't get in front of White House and get arrested because you want to bring around us. So that's not the idea. I wouldn't advise anyone to get arrested and beaten by the police in the police cell. But the idea is that you do whatever within your power, whatever way, physically, otherwise, spiritually, to establish, we contribute in the bringing Ram Raj, not only individual, but collectively as well. That does not prevent you. It is, although it's a personal concept, can be personal pursuit. At the same time, it is also collective pursuit as well. So that is very clear. That doesn't give you option to opt out and go in cave. If cave would be the answer, no high being would have come to the world. And I would not be in London. I would be still in Himalayan cave, sitting somewhere. So that's not the idea. So the idea is to, cave time is cave time, and London time is London time, New York time is New York time. So, so everything has a time. As in the Bible says, beautiful song, time to cry and time to laugh and time to weep and time to. So that's a beautiful message. So everything has a time and everything fits into the time and concept of duty and dharma should go all along. One thing or more. So those who think that the tyranny or darkness lasts, they are wrong. The darkness is short-lived concept, because light is, in absence of light, darkness takes place. If there is a light, there will be no darkness. When the sun sets, darkness arrives because there is no light, and therefore darkness is the substitute of light. Darkness does not come by itself. Absence of light, darkness takes place. And therefore in truth, there is no untruth. Truth is pure. But in untruth, truth there. So for instance, the horrible people, they do horrible things. And they go to court and say, I want justice. I have been victim. The horrible people. They don't say, no, I have done horrible things. I am proud of it. You understand that point? They do horrible things. But when they go to court, they don't say, I have done horrible things. No, I have done good things. So they plead in the name of truth and right, although they do horrible things. If they are so proud, why they don't proclaim, yes, I have killed, I have murdered, raped? Why they deny? So in name of truth and justice and right, the darkness plead. Never heard any that I'm proud to be killer or murderer. No, I murder her because of that. Even if they say they kill someone, they justify why they killed. So the truth is pure. Untruth, there is a truth, therefore untruth survives. So the short living of darkness and untruth is always there. So the negativity will not last forever. It has very temporary phase, whereas the positivity is lasting and truth lasting. So one has to understand that aspect as well.
I guess this is kind of already answered. This is just the question is in a different way, so maybe it'll help people to hear it. How to deal with fear and anxiety in today's world, since we're coming off of a topic of, you know, crazy things in the world, and, you know, how to keep our own, you know, kind of focus and developing Ramraj. What are the best techniques to deal with fear and anxiety in today's world?
Fear of unknown is a natural inertia that is always will happen. Always will happen that fear will creep. And that is the right from beginning, you're born, fear is there. One after another, one way or other, fear will appear, keep appearing. But then, you know that you have more than, you have something which also fear can be defeated. For instance, if you are walking with someone, whether someone is run away or stand by you, but you know that someone is with you. That idea of someone is with you itself gives you reassurance that someone is with you. So first thing, the fear is bound to happen because idea of fear will come again and again because the world is so fear-like place. But then you have ability to know that you have also dharma with you. You have a spiritual strength with you. You have your own forces, positive forces with you. And fear is some kind of dark cloud. May rain, may not rain. But you are prepared to go through the heavy rain if necessary. So when you know that you have a strength to go through fear and fear won't harm you, so you have to know that you have forces behind you which will help you to overcome fear, or you won't be victim of fear. But the fear itself will come again and again because that is something part of living.
So another question is patience and compassion the best remedy to speed up one's evolution?
The question is, what is within your reach. So what is within your reach, you use that. What is not within your reach, you can't use those forces. Compassion is within your reach. You can be compassionate. On the occasion, you don't need to put compassion into you. Compassion comes by itself. There are times when compassion spring up in such situations, circumstances, events happening, whatever happens. It's a natural phenomena. And so compassion is within reach. Patience, you know that you can also have, you can practice patience. Remember that when Siddhartha, the character who goes in the follower of devotee of Buddha, Siddhartha, his name is Siddhartha, and he goes to a job interview. A rich man, so the rich man was asking, giving him interview, so he asking question. What qualification do you have? What do you think you have to deserve a job in my company? And he said, I can wait, I can fast, and I can think. So this is, and the man said, and the rich man said, you are hired. You are my man. You see, of course, today, these days, they will fire you. But fundamentally, it is true. Patience, I can wait. I can have patience. It's a great quality, great virtue. I can think, a great virtue. Compassion. So what is within your reach? What is not in your reach? Not in your hand? That makes you need a lot of effort to what not in your hand. What is in your hand is better than what is not in your hand. Bird in hand is better than bird in bush, they call it in English. What is in your hand, within your reach? You can use them. So you are within the reach of patience and compassion. So what you already have, why not to use that? You know, sometimes it happened that people said, oh, I have no food. So I said, show me your kitchen. And I go to kitchen and find always some food. So you have food, but you don't realize that you have food. There is always something there. Kitchen is kitchen. There is always something in the kitchen. When you can cook. So what is in your hand, it is better to use that. And compassion is, you can use the compassion. You can use the patience. So that the idea is that what you don't have, you can acquire, of course. It's always good to acquire. That's something which somebody asked me, is scared of ghost. So that person was traveling with me. So I put him in the graveyard and left him there overnight. Deal with the ghost. So you can If somebody does not know how to swim, you throw the person in the Ganga, let him swim. So what you don't have, you acquire by being brave. But what you have, you make use of. That's the idea of learning, process of learning. So this so that's the end of question. This time.
There's one more, but it's near time to
Yeah.
close. So would you like another
You
question?
can say I will reply short. I'm
Okay.
looking at the time.
Okay.
We always go more than fixed time. If
So,
all of you have a time, I have time too.
okay. So,
Today is Sunday, so you are not in a hurry. And anyway, now pandemic is going on, so
it's true, there's nowhere to go.
We don't have time. All the
keep
time.
distance. Keep distance is the great philosophy now, at the moment.
Okay, so I'll just read this one through instead of summarizing. The Vedic teaching is through exemplary concepts, symbols, and qualities, and to understand how to serve and learn to realize one's potential in life, a way of life that cannot be compared with religious dogma. Is it right to view the higher principles or deities as a way to reach a higher self-empowerment state and become whole, rather than the superficial worship of idols, and that any ritual is to remind and inspire oneself to live in the right way, like other powerful symbols such as traffic symbols on the road? Question mark.
You see, there is imagine that you have a house, but you have no ladder, no steps to the house. Just imagine. Or you have a house, but you don't have, or you want to go roof. There is no step to roof. So what do? You have ladder and you climb on the roof. And you don't carry the ladder around because it has helped you to climb on the roof. The ladder has done the job. And that's it. So many practices and symbols and methods, and they help you to understand many aspects of yourself and beyond yourself. But you don't get caught into that. It's like this, I remember that once I was surrounded by I was in Calcutta once in the big grand hotel. And the owner of the hotel himself was a old grand man, Maharaja. Because he was Maharaja and ex-Maharaja. And he had a grand hotel. So all the Maharajas were there. Not all, but many of them were staying there. And every time they met me, they talked about their past. And someone would say, oh, my father had a first Rolls Royce. They talked about the past. That's all they did. You see, getting caught into the circle, not to move on, is a challenge. So any practices, method, help you to move on. And they have done their job, they have purpose, they have role. But Vedic philosophy, of course, is a key to liberation. And one cling to the highest. But all other things, they have purpose, they have meaning, and they have help. So that's something, it's like a traffic symbols. You can say these is traffic symbols. If you think one way, it is just symbols. It doesn't make sense. But it does make sense because it helps you to regulate the traffic. A speed limit, zebra crossing, gives you the sense of direction, sense of information to do and don't do, what you have to do and what you don't have to do. Makes your life easy. If these things would not be there, it will be impossible to drive in the town or anywhere. So that serves the great purpose, all these symbols. So, but they have their function. You can't just get stuck to the symbols. You have to go beyond. They have done their job. Now you are going to destination, you drive to your destination. You don't get caught into zebra crossing. But they help you on your path, on your way. So everything has a meaning and purpose. And it has to be understood like that and make use of and to move on to your true direction, true destiny. That's the idea. So now I guess time is up. And so remember that time is no time. Is a kal, no kal. Kal is time, akal is beyond time. That will continue. So time has no concept and it has no beginning and no end. Time is time. But your pursuit is ongoing. It's not a one-time business. It's all-time business. And you carry all the material you have, it is not lacking. And if it is lacking, then acquire it. And you have material to make it happen. And that's why the teaching idea of teaching is that to get the clue, get the keys to open the door, and keep opening the door until you find it. So at this occasion, we ask Ganesh, set our intention and ask Ganesh to help our intention to create obstacles, remove obstacles, because obstacles are created we don't have to create one. It is created. That's why I say, it's enough obstacles, why to create more? So remove the obstacles from our life and give us the prosperity. So give us the prosperity, remove the obstacle, give us prosperity, and help us towards liberation. So our body, mind, and soul should be together in harmony to pursue the highest goal, blissful state of consciousness, which you can call moksha, liberation. So we on this time we said that, of course, the love is all along. That must not be forgotten. Whatever you do, the loving energy should be there. And definitely compassion should be there. Compassion for yourself and compassion for your fellow uh, being or creature, not only the human being, but all creature. And so this, we set our intention on this day, and we ask to help us to achieve. And this, of course, I'm with you, sending you the energy to cope with the world today. And this, as I'm saying, that something can be very difficult, but it can be very easy. Things can be easy if you want to make it easy. Things can be difficult if you perceive as difficult. So this open our hearts and tune to the loving energy which is given to all of you, and benefiting as much as you can, and open yourself for further benefit in all respect. And this is the time to receive and hold and make benefit of all your endeavor. Om Santi, Santi, Santi.
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for giving us the time to be with you today, and all the blessings and teachings and all your Shakti. And thank you everyone for attending and being able to be a part of this auspicious, beautiful event. May you all have a lovely remainder of your day and feel the grace and presence of Swamiji with you always. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.